Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dabble and Babble podcast, episode 5, right off the heels of our landmark podcast where it's not just me rambling for an hour or so, which is nice, change of pace. The recording date is 9/14/18. Seriously, why don't we just change to I think rest of the world way of the date, which is like day, month, year, but here we have month, day, year. It's that and the metric system is just things we apparently can't comprehend. I don't know why, but I guess it's just a thing. Anyways, yeah, it's just gonna be me this episode. Back to the normal way of the 5 people listening to this. Well, one of those people should in theory be interviewing or just talking to this weekend because it is a Friday. I'm putting this up hopefully on Friday, but I don't think it's happening. It would be the person who designed the logo you see currently and on the thumbnail. But she's having family mix-ups. Apparently it's Filipino tradition to have just random relatives come over, and you can't leave at all because there's relatives over. And so she's stuck with that, even though she warned her mother, which she told me. I'm not in her room, like in the rafters, like the boy who lived. No. Anyways, today, feeling depressed. More like just unconfident in my abilities right now. I shouldn't say that, but today, as I mentioned before, I'm in creative writing class. And, every day we have the class, we look at someone else's writing and we submit our own stuff. And when it comes to our day, we talk about it. And since I'm the one writing, I'm someone who writes long form, i.e. the novel that I'm working on. It's just my turn, and I did it, and came away with a lot of things. One of which being, I'm too much like myself. Basically what was said, and this actually just what I've been told my entire life, is that all of my writing sounds exactly like me. Like, it just sounds like me, apparently. Like, everyone who reads it says, like, this sounds so much like you. And, like, apparently I'm so distinctive in my writing that it just sounds like me. And you would think, like, that means, like, oh, I found my voice, or whatnot. Like, you have your own voice and your own special thing. But I'm kind of worried about it. Like, they didn't say it as it was a bad thing. But what they did say was that my voice is not suited for drama. That I can't handle heavy drama. That is just like, because I submitted a first chapter where I'm it's the, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned in them to the book I'm writing, but it's a modern day mob story, and the things I got on it was script. It doesn't really matter what I got on it. But what it did say I want to focus on is like the voice thing, and they said how the voice like that has like humor in it, and just because me being quirky and whatnot, I have similes and I have weird observations of things, and it's not really an intent to be funny. I just find it that way. But they said something that really worried me, and that was that the tone of my voice and the way I write is not well suited for dramatic moments. And that terrifies me, because I want to have, every story has to be dramatic, and especially since I have a mob story, it's gonna have dramatic moments. I mean, I know I'm not gonna write the next Godfather, but it worries me that when I go into the future writing, writing the stories, write more and more and more stories, it's just gonna be like, it's just me. Like, it terrifies me, the idea that I have nothing else to offer than what I am. Like, I can't I can't put myself in any other shoe. I can't think outside of my own normal train of thought. It's just me. And the people there and the teacher, or tried to put me, calm me down basically, because I was having, a little bit of, identity crisis, saying like, oh, if you authors who write short stories and they have, collections, you can tell sort of their voice, and like, all of that. Like, it's fine, it means you're unique, and like if you write more and more, then that means you're developing as you go, and I guess that's really what I am. I'm developing. She said the issue that I'm seeking with is that is issue like down the line when I'm like 21, and if I even keep writing into 21, then I probably should maybe worry about it. But right now, since I'm like only 16, I shouldn't. But even then, the idea like haunts me. But I think it stems from a large problem of mine, and that affects my writing, is that I am such like a big goal setter. Like, I like to set things in place and little things to build up to giant crescendos. Cassandros? Yeah, Cassandros. And, just things I've all, like a million things down the pipeline. I have this book I want to make a series, a trilogy. And I have, like, all of, like, the beats, like, the main idea for the 3 books planned out and all that. But I just can't. Well, first of all, I'm borderline illiterate. So it's hard enough to. I find it funny that I that I want to be such a writer, but I have terrible spelling and grammar and just habits. Like, I'll write a sentence, but because of my inability to think in the meantime, like I'm thinking about everything else and like worrying about what to put in, I forget words. I just forget to put in words, and like it's really bad sometimes. I think the example they use is that this was the first chapter was main character witnessed the killing of 2 people. Well, he tried to save someone, and the person he saved was a mobster who killed guys that were mugging him. Okay, and he's reminiscing on it a little bit, saying like, I think what I was going for was, you might ask, how do you miss something like that? Borderline blatantly, like, just because I don't focus on anything. I'm just a scatterbrained moronic idiot. Moratic? What am I even saying? See, the mood is very much dropped. This is a very somber episode of the Dabble and Babble, I guess. But I kind of just in that reflective mood of like, thinking about like, I'm kind of worried now because I think in our groups, I'm always like one of the more critical ones. Like, I always say, people don't do these things, like things I want to see, and people appreciate it. Like, I'm weird. I say in my own weird manic ways. I do things hyperbole, but I think people say, at least, or seem to think, that I do it with a degree of like genuine heart in it, and I give constructive criticism, and I see things in a way that people normally don't see it, which I can totally agree with. That's my entire MO. But I think I'm worried that I'll become a critic more than a writer. And I don't want to do that, because I think what I need is like, I need to co-write this with someone, because I need someone to rein me in and like watch my back. I need like the most boring writer you can get. The most average, like, middle of the road who writes the Lifetime movies, like those crappy ones that like was like the same plot of like strict businesswoman meets loose guy, and the woman changes over the course of the movie. They made this exact same movie over 100 times in the Lifetime network, and I need that writer. I need that guy to just hold me down and rein me in, like saying like, okay, you have pretty good ideas. You have great ideas, in fact. But can you focus in? Could you not like bounce off the walls and like think up like 2 books ahead about things you probably never do because your idea will change because you're a manic idiot? I think I need that in my life. Just someone to hold me down. I need someone to hold me down, because being alone, that was my water bottle, by the way. But it's just someone to hold me down, because this whole thing of like going 100 miles per minute in my own head is just clearly not helping. Yeah, not to help that, again, I'm borderline illiterate. Like, missing words, misspelled words, like basic grammar issues that were terrible. And it didn't help that I didn't proofread it at all, because I tried to do the thing was 20 pages. And most people, and I only have to do 3, but make it really well polished. That's what she specified. So I went for the Mass Land Doctrine besides the Navy Focus one, if you get my reference that is a reference to nothing besides generic wartime strategies. So no one gets it. Okay, anyway. Oh god, I'm so wrecked by this. I probably sound super sad. I promise I'm not. I'm just thinking a lot of like, what do I do now? Because I'm gonna continue it. I want this to be a thing. What someone suggested to me was why don't I make it just a script to a movie? Because I write in a very visual way, something very visceral, and like it's like a lot of detail in the scripting and like action and whatnot. I like that. It interests me, and so they asked like, why don't you just make it into a script for a movie? And I don't know why, but I don't like that idea. I can see it turned into a movie very easily, but I don't think I want to write a movie. Because I guess this is me thinking ahead. If I write a movie script, I'm probably not going to be the one to direct it. I'm just how Hollywood works. I'm probably not going to direct it. They don't really like the writer-director thing in big Hollywood. I probably have to get it into a smaller thing, which is not a smaller thing. It's a mob story, for Christ's sake. There needs to be like violence and stuff like that, I have big ideas for what can happen. And that doesn't really work with a smaller budget. So I can't like just fund it myself and I give it to a big Hollywood producer that would like it. They're going to end up changing it. They're going to butcher it of what the themes and ideas that I want to feel. It's not going to be mine at that point. And that's why I like a novel, I guess, because it can be my thing. Like it's just me. No one's telling me to remove these things, or like no one else is like coming in and rewording the sentences to the point where it's something else. I think that's why it scares me, the screenplay, and also because I didn't imagine it. I think what I want to try to do is redefine what a book can be in a weird way. Like I'm not trying to revolutionize literature in itself, but like I don't read a lot of books. Like I definitely watch a lot more movies than I read books. And the teacher described it as like you can clearly visualize these things, and a lot of action is very clear, but there's so much of it that it gets cluttered, and so much description that the lines that I have are really strong and people can recognize get lost in the shuffle. But it wouldn't that wouldn't happen in a movie. That I could display that visually, but I just something about it. Like I think it's what I'm trying to write is a book for myself. In that I really don't know what makes up a good book. I know what makes up good writing, but I don't know what makes up a good book. And I think I'm trying to figure that out as I go along. Because I don't really read a lot. I read sometimes, but I don't really read a lot. I read comic books more frequently than I read actual books. And like not just like single issue comics, I'm talking like series. I've read more series than I have read books, and it's just I don't know why I don't make it into a screenplay. I really don't. It's something about just my ability to control it, I think, is the main thing. Because with a script, someone else is going to handle it probably. And if I do get it, I'm very lucky, but I doubt it. There's something about just the book that, like, I don't know why I really want to get... I don't know why I want to have a book, to be honest. I just feel like it needs to be a book. Like, I feel like I want it more as a book than a script. I don't know why. Maybe because I want to think I'm special. Or, like, I don't know why. I feel like I need to make it a book. It's something I can't place, but I just want to make it a book. So, yeah, that was the book talk. Really depressing sounding book talk. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to do. I didn't do my schedule thing. I listed for a writing schedule. I had I think what I did with my scheduling was better than what I did with my book, because what I did, I made it on my whiteboard up here in my room. I have a big old whiteboard, and I have a writing schedule on it. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm gonna mention it anyways. I have a novel. I added things that like I want to do like an ETV thing, which is like our school's like station on YouTube channel that streams like news and stuff. Like local, like not like even school news and like student run things and shows. I was gonna do series for that. I was gonna do like work on that until the end of September. They handed in a manuscript for like a pilot episode and like see if they pick it up. And I was gonna write things like 1 hour every 2 days for my novel. I gotta work on that. For my short film, I gotta work at least 3 hours a week. I just gotta do all these things like ideas and like my plotting out and like. now I just have it novel 1 hour every 2 days. That's all I have. I'm gonna focus on my novel. I think I'm getting to the point where I know my limit. Like just my focus. It's just something. Like I need to. I'm doing something wrong. Like something like not wrong because my everyone said they liked my story. Like it wasn't bad by any means. But I see like my spelling mistakes and like the things I didn't do right and like to be honest I got lazy with it. I didn't use real street names even though there's say you said in New York. I didn't give it a time or date, so I need to make that clear. There's just things that I was so worried about playing for the future. I didn't plan for what was there now in establishment because I thought like, oh, they'll pick it up, and I guess that's my biggest issue is that they're not picking it up because I didn't set it up right. Like I'm getting just bullet points, but I'm not getting a full picture. I'm focusing on the wrong things. I'm just a scatterbrain in that idea. I don't know. I guess this is part of the creative writing process for anything really. It's just folks trying to figure it out because I guess this was good for me. You know, this was probably really good for me in the future. That I know that I'm not on a. I always feel like I'm the most critical. Like when I'm looking back on things that I've said to other writers, I feel like I give decent enough advice, but I feel like as though like now that I see this, I wonder like is my opinion any less valid? And I know it's not, but like when I look at things, I just beat myself up so hard about it. Like it's not that I have the teacher said I don't have confidence, but I don't think is the case. I think I have a need to overly explain things. Like she said, I constantly try to explain why I did things or why things weren't as strong as they were. Like, I didn't get to, it was so bad for my spellings because, one, I'm a naturally bad speller, and two, I didn't get to reread it because I was trying to jam so much stuff in it, I ran out of time. Trying to explain that, but she always said, like, you're apologizing. You're explaining like you're apologizing. Like, I didn't know what apologizing means. Like, I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just saying how it was. Like, I didn't do this because I thought this thing. Like, I'm trying to apologize. But I guess talking is my own worst enemy. It's just going back to that voice thing again. It's like I wanted to create story ideas and like my I have this story idea that I need to get out. Like 3 books ideas. I have 3 book ideas I need to get out, but I'm worried that it's just gonna end up becoming me, and I don't want to have me like the main character me. Because I say it in the first person, I write in the first person, the main character. And the 2 things I'm worried about. One is that I don't want to become self-insert. I don't want to be like like one of those like YA novels are like, it's basically just you, the main character is no character. It's just a shell of the reader. And I don't want that. But the second thing I'm worried about is I don't want to just seem like me. And I guess it's not a problem for like new readers. It's like saying, "Oh, I've never seen this before. It's so cool." But like after a while, like if I make this a series, it's gonna end up saying like, "Oh, it's just me." And I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. They said it's not a bad thing. It's just an observation. But I don't know. It bugs me to think that I can't do anything besides what I am now. Like I'm never gonna change as a writer or a human being. I don't know. It's kind of scary, but I guess I just gotta work it out and figure it out. Alright, checking some water. That went down the wrong pipe. Okay, this is bad. But I guess the only thing I really worry about is I'm only going to do like personality things. Like, the stand-up comic, which I'm not opposed to. I love stand-up comics. I think they're hilarious. I did stand-up comedy for my talent show. But I just fear as though, like, I'm not going to have much to... Because I have these great ideas, but I'm not going to have much to, like, handle them out. It's going to just be more interesting me. I'm going to be more interesting than the things I write. And I don't know if I'm okay with that or not. I really don't know. It's a scary thought that I'm now thinking about, but I just got to push it out of my head. Like she said, I got to worry about it later. Right now, I just need to focus on getting a book. I think that's just how you deal with anything. Or like, this is like sounding like a weird problem to anyone who doesn't write. And this is like just a personal me thing, but I think the way to wrap it to everyone else is that you just think about something like so much, like it's your thing, and like you're worried that you're messing it up. I think that's it. You place yourself onto one thing that you're good at, or something like that. Like, oh, I'm good at math. Or like, I want to go into this one thing. I want to do like architect engineering and like things like that. I think we have a tendency to just overthink our things and place so much of ourselves into one thing, or not at all. Like people, now feel either lost in life, like the life, the whole like nihilism take over, the whole world, the world, nothing has meaning, nothing, matters, all that, and just like, so people just drifting around, getting face tattoos and whatnot. But just going around world, or like they find something they're actually good at and they want to do, but they like put themselves so much into it, they overthink it, and they end up modeling their own like stuff. Like you want to be a football player, but like you worry about like your play and things like that. Like you worry about everything, like the next snap, what am I gonna do, my throw, everything. You focus on everything so much, and you put it all on yourself. Sometimes you feel like you own you basically at that point you're on your own worst enemy, and it feels as though like I'm both my personality is my greatest asset and my greatest weakness. That's what I feel like. Because I'm so distinct. I don't want to talk about myself because I hate it. I hate not myself, but like the idea that I'm putting my personality like as a thing, like it's a luxury item that is better than all the commoner items. Like I'm a mansion, you're a house. I don't want to put myself on top of that. But people say I'm so distinctive and whatnot. Like I have such a clear voice, and like they really think it's me reading to them. And like I guess that's really good because nothing I can only give me, like no one else can be what I am, I guess. I hear rappers say all the time, when especially like old heads when they talk about like new rappers who all like sound the same, using like rhyme flows and whatnot. And they always say like once you be yourself, that you're giving everyone something only you can give, and that's yourself. And I feel as I'm happy with that, being able to give something that it sounds like me and no one else I've seen like me. And so I guess that's nice, but I don't know. I'm worried about becoming like a parody of myself in my own writing. It's weird. But maybe I should have one of the creative writing people, invite him over and have him for the podcast, or bring my laptop over and just to record. But who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it won't. I don't know. So that was the writing. I just like moaned for 20 minutes. Oh god, I'm so bad. I feel bad for anyone listening to this. You did not catch me at a good time. Let's talk something a bit more cheery. Being nearly killed in a storm at a fairground. Alright, so today I live in the Easton area, and we have a little area here called Forks. I live in Forks. And today, at 5 o'clock, even though it's super cloudy, it's not going to rain, but it's just super cloudy and depressing, we're going to have fork days. Woo! And it's a fairground where, like, they have, like, the teacups, the shooting balloon on the wall with the gun that always veers right because the thing was made the same time as Herbert Humphrey. Is that even his name? Hoover. Herbert Hoover. Hoover. Now I'm selling vacuums. Anyways, yeah, grid games, rides that were constructed at the same time, as the Brooklyn Bridge, so, and with the same amount of, that looks stable, kind of vibe to them. And of course, food that, if you even have a slight, if your level of cholesterol is even slightly above average, it will kill you. Like, you have to be anemic, basically eat it and feel fine afterwards. Anyone else just feels like they ate molasses. Probably deep fried molasses. In fact, I think I saw that in a Sam last time. I did not, when I was that unhealthy. But all that and fair stuff. And that's my thing. But that's my local one at least. The one I went to in the summer, when it was still summer, was Palmer Days, which is another township that we have. First of all, of Palmer Days. First of all, no Ferris wheel. Therefore, it's not a fair. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Okay, if it doesn't have a Ferris wheel, it is not a fair. Okay, because Ferris wheels are awesome. I'm scared of heights. Okay, I will admit that first. I am terrified of heights. Heights are terrifying to me. But Ferris wheels, pretty cool. And I would say necessary for a fair to be called a fair. Anyways, it doesn't have a fair. It doesn't count. We'll call it a playful gathering of community members. We'll call it that. So the PM double C. So at this PM double C, they had like a weird, like main pavilion area. You know, like a tent. Not like a tent you sleep in, but the tarp overhead. With the looks like a roof. That they had an area like that for like some local talent. Like they had like they had a bunch of cheer squads and like dance groups, I guess. With, like equipment and tables and whatnot. That was like the main area. And surrounding it was like a bunch of stands for food and whatnot. A lot of food options. Some hot dogs. A weird woman giving out popcorn. A lot of the school there, like a lot of school sports teams selling stuff. For their teams and whatnot. A guy selling out opioid pamphlets. Right next to the the donuts. Just to drive home healthy living. But yeah, that was nice, and all the nice stuff. The rides. They had a photo booth. They had wheel rides. At our place, we have Ferris wheel. We have like a little teacup thing. They had teacups as well, but to be honest, it may be the same thing, but it looks a little dinky. And they had a rock climbing thing, which I wasn't gonna do because I'm not crazy. But yeah, pretty nice thing. I was there with all my friends. All 7 of them. All 7 of my friends were there, and we were having a good time. Everyone's there, and then we knew it was gonna rain probably. But that shouldn't be such a big issue, right? Well, we really saw Skeletor from He-Man just come in, just a giant gray cloud of death, plump cloud, a bag of spray pan strawberries just coming over the horizon. And as we're talking, we're all in a group at this point, we milled about, eating in the children's playground and whatnot, just talking and shooting the shit. And as we see this, I was walking towards it, we're going to a local supermarket called Weiss. We're gonna go there if it rains. If it rains too hard, we're thinking oh, it won't be that bad. Then as we look over to the crowd, it's a lightning bolt, someone spited God and you struck him down, just a lightning bolt out of nowhere. And we're and the wind is immediately picking up afterwards. It's okay, we might have to start going. And we start walking, and it starts to drizzle. Then it starts to rain. Then it starts to pound. Then it starts to all come down on us, the atmosphere. Then the meteors strike, and assume everything is chaos. Okay, it's 2012. Okay, Aztecs were right. Or Mayan calendar. That was the one. So yeah, it's the end of days, and we're all booking it. We have to book it. This is not a good. First of all, I think there's supposed to be fireworks or something. There was no fireworks anymore. Everyone immediately abandoned positions. I didn't see it, but from what I've heard, everyone would just, all the kids and the workers there were running, to somewhere, because today was not safe. It was too windy. Things were being picked up, and it was just raining super hard, and it was dark immediately. You can barely see after a while. And so, my first thought, when I was just casing out the place, I was I'm gonna hide in the restroom. But I knew, I probably wouldn't be picked up for an hour. And so, probably a bad idea to sit in the stone restroom cold with probably pounding rain for an hour with, a not fully charged phone. So I went with my friends, we all went to Weiss, and we disrupted local business. Oh, God, why? I now know why store managers hate teenagers. I now get it. Because a group of them are an awful thing. Awful thing. Just people going around, milling about, looking at things, picking things up that they know they're not going to buy and putting it somewhere else, yelling at each other, all the great stuff. And so I'm in there, but I came with my brother, and we hang out in 2 very different groups of people. So I don't know where he is, and I assume he's gonna go out somewhere. I'll text him later. I don't really care. At this point, I'm wet. I don't care. So I'm going out, walking around my friends, and it's just normal time. We go out, we eat food, we buy stuff from the Weiss, we support local businesses. Vote for Trump 2020. Oh god, please don't quote me on that. But yeah, we buy some stuff. We hang out at the table. My brother comes around. He's soaking wet. And it's just all around a grand old time at the dirty deli counter tables. You know, someone next to us left like a table full of just like not even in the box chicken wing bones, like just like fried chicken bones, like all over the place. It was disgusting. Me and my other friend, who's supposed to come, probably not. Came around and cleaned it up because everyone else is degenerates. Oh yeah, that same friend also thought she lost her phone, and she had a panic attack, and that's what to everyone. And that was really common. As soon as I realized, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk around, and I found it like at the entrance where she left it, and then I picked it up and I gave it to her, and like everyone like sighed of relief, and like everyone's just walk. God, people when lose things, they go manic. Like it's just everyone was just like. I don't know how to describe it. It's like if you split up the people from the seagulls from mine, but then once they're split up, they say where instead. They say where. It's like that. That was the group. But yeah, that was fun. Also, another thing to go on with the Teen Menace angle is that I was with that girl, and I went outside, and I saw the other group. Like, why'd you leave early? It's like, oh. We were going around and we found a ball. We just bounced it super hard against the floor and it flew upwards and we got kicked out. We were asked to leave. And it was like, well, no shit. Why did you do that? You freaking idiots. Why would you do that? Are you that bored? It was just like, I didn't see it, but like I can only imagine what it looked like. And that was just stupid. Like, I don't know why they did that. Water. Air. Fire. I got the order wrong. Doesn't matter. And so yeah, that was being rained out and the freaking lost. I didn't even look back. Like, it was so bad. It was raining the entire time. We were there for like 3 hours. It felt like 3 hours of just waiting around, for the rain to stop. Our dad's picked it up and we went home. And it was just super bad. Okay, let's see. What else are we here to talk about? Halfway mark. Woohoo. Out depressing things already. Oh, God. Well, actually, another important development in my life. I'm possibly moving houses, which is always fun. My mother is also trying to change jobs, so that's also fun. So, yeah. Whole uprooting experience in my life. Yeah, it's weird to think I don't go with her like the house hunting because I don't really care. As long as I'm in the same school, we could live in a basement for all I care. I take up very little space. I live in a very cramped room already with just the bed is the thing that takes up the most space. Not even my desk or the drawer. It's just the bed. And they're like, oh, that's a no-brainer. It takes up a good quarter of the room. A quarter of my room is just my bed. That's it. And I have a cable. Because my outlet behind my bed just shut off because my current living situation is so stable. We got a window broken by some a-hole kid, I guess, who threw a sharp thing out our window and it broke, which is wonderful. And that was great. I had my window broken another time, and now the outlet behind my bed blew out or something, so I had to drag a wire across my bed, which is a constant tripping hazard. Thankfully, it hasn't happened yet. But I assume if this place catches fire, which is very possible, I'm just going to trip on it and, nail my head on the doorknob. Again, that's how small our room is. But yeah, I'm trying to find that. I haven't gone housing hunting with her, but we did go to this one house just recently, like yesterday, actually. And I've never had a real house. Like, it was always just, and the house itself isn't, a big house. It's just a small home. And that's probably, we didn't get it for that reason, because it only had 2 rooms, really. And it had a basement, but the basement would cost too much money to, make an actual living room. Like, a room where someone could live. Like, my brother wants to sleep in a basement, if we have a basement. But, we never lived in a house. We always, rented our lives. And now, now we're just moving out. And, the fact that it had a backyard that was actually ours and, sizable. You could kick a ball, in reasonable distance without, having your neighbor yell at you. Or, be able to be, just be like, if you kicked the ball in the wrong place, you couldn't get evicted for it. Like, that wasn't over our heads, and that was amazing to us. It was a space for like a pool. There wasn't a pool there, but there was space for it, which made it extreme, even though we both probably wouldn't really use the pool. There was a basement, and there was a little attic area, which is things we never ever had. And it was a quaint little thing, just small houses. The appliances were nice. The kitchen was way small. And we never had a big kitchen to begin with, but it was pretty small. It's smaller than our current kitchen, which was, I didn't think about, but everyone else did. So I guess I don't know what house hunting is. And a really nice bathroom. I'm always amazed by the bathrooms in actual people's homes. Because for one, they actually have mirrors. What we have are medicine cabinets that have these really old sliding panel mirrors, and you're like, oh, they're fine. They're not really that fine because they're old, and like they don't really work. They're not really eye level. We don't have any real good mirrors. Like, you can't see yourself. Like, people on Snapchat and stuff, like those like girls whose entire careers are based on their bodies. Like, I constantly, when I see any of them, like, I don't care. Like, it's just, like, I just don't want to see it, because I'm tired of seeing, like, random women's legs whenever I scroll down on Snapchat to see, like, what else is besides my stories. I'm tired of seeing that. Like, you be pictures of people, like, doing the duck face with, like, weird filters that don't really match. And, like, I see them, because I'm, just, a teenage boy. I look at them, and they're just, like, just milling about in, like either half naked or in just normal people clothing, but with like their legs showing and whatnot, and they're just taking their camera and moving it all across their face. Like, here's my butt, here's my chest, here's my face, to go all around. You feel disoriented because it's a phone camera. It blurs very easily. So you're watching this hot girl with Parkinson's just move the camera all about, and like, it's just like, I don't want to see that. And so I always freaking turn them off. And I always say, like, I don't want to see them. I'm not interested. You can do that. I do that, and they still keep showing up. So that happens. Anyways, what they also like to do is they love to take bathroom, mirror photos. They love to do that for some weird reason. I guess it takes all the angles. I guess I never really were able to do that. I'm not able to get a good, image of that because my mirrors aren't big enough. They're not very big. They're like a cabinet. They're like, imagine the cabinet that you have on like the top where you keep your plates. Imagine that half the size. That's the size of my window. It's not a very big window. I don't need a big window, but I'm just saying it's not a big window. Now, mirrors. Now, imagine that. See, I can never do that because my mirror's the small. That's what kind of bathroom quality I'm talking about. Like, so like when I see like an actual mirror that's like a full plain glass mirror, I get excited. When the bathroom is clean, I get excited. When I see like the railing thing for the towels is not broken, I get excited. This is things that excite me. My bar is so low that I don't know what is a good house or not. Anyway, so we think we're probably not going to buy it, so it's off to the races for that one. And another home. Oh my god. So yeah, that's also a wonderful thing. I gotta get a job soon. Like, I'm getting my license in January. I've yet to actually drive, like, actually properly train to drive, so I gotta do that at some point. I gotta get a job. Gotta do something. Yeah, because at this point, it's just, like, everything expanding, becoming a real adult. And, I guess it's also partly why I was worried about the story thing. Because, like, this is the kind of thing I'm hoping to bet on. Like, I don't want a marketing... Like, I already have, like, a major, per se. Like, I want to go into marketing. Because I just feel like it'd be the most fulfilling thing I could do that still pays kind of well. As, like, a stable job. And, like, marketers are kind of probably going to be always in demand or higher. So, that'd be nice. But, it's, like... So, like, when you bet on your whole thing... And, like, when you see, like... I'm always thinking of longevity, and like I think that's my issue. Like I'm never in the now. The guidance counselor when I was younger asked me like, do you feel like, and this is like in middle school, do you ever feel like you're not letting yourself be a kid? And at that age, I just kind of shrugged it off, saying like, no, I'm a kid. I do rad things. But now looking back on it, I probably was never. I never allowed myself to be a kid, mostly because I never felt like a kid. I just felt like me or an adult. I never felt like a kid or an adult. I just felt like me. I was always just a scattered. I'm an unfocused ball of creative mess. And I guess like when thinking about it, the idea of like making a book series I can actually make money off of and like use that to jumpstart into other careers and whatnot. The thing that I don't have longevity with my own voice, terrifies me. But that's just got a thing I got to figure out as I go on. Like, when I do, if I do get successful with my own voice and like people can start to get stale of it, that's when the real creativity comes out. Usually, last, bottom of the ninth, moment is like I gotta make something or else I'm not gonna feed the family. That sort of thing. So I guess I figured that out when I get older. I'm just glad, I guess. I guess I really should be doing is being glad that I have a voice at all. Like I'm not sounding generic or like just plain. I have something distinctive at the very least, and I have some things going for me. My similes are fine. Like this is coming from a creative writing teacher, and she said how I'm there's a lot of hackneyed. Hackneyed. I don't know. It depends on who you are, but hack-eyed. Like similes, like felt like a ton of bricks, and all that sort of stuff. And like she was seeing how I did it. She said like how hard like admirable it is to like come up with similes that work well and like feel fresh. And like I kind of cringed to myself a little when she said hard, because I don't really think hard about it. It's just something I'm really good at. And like other things, like my description is good. Like I have good parts of it when it's not bogged down by my rest of my mumblings. And good ideas and like characters. Well, not she didn't. We didn't talk about. We just talked about how my voice stuff. We didn't talk about anything really positive besides like my actual writing, not like characters or storyline, which I think is what I've always focused on more. And I guess that didn't really come through because it's only the first chapter and I only have to judge the writing part of it. So I guess that's my big problem, is that I have great ideas. I just don't know how to make them an actual reality. When it gets down to the nitty gritty, I'm terrible at least right now. So I guess I gotta look at that. And as I get older, I'm probably gonna refine it to where it doesn't sound exactly like me. Even if that's even a problem, but we'll see. Oh my god, I gotta drink so much water. I gotta go down the Forks days. Remember when I had an actual subject? Yeah, I was going down the Forks days today, so I'm drinking a lot of water to hydrate. I have no money, so it's gonna be great. I have like $20, so it's gonna be wonderful. Going around walking, just looking at things. It's a great time. And I think I have nothing else. Oh yeah, I have FBLA. I had my first meeting of the new year, officer and whatnot, and it was very crowded. My brother's in that, and I don't think he's business material. He knows he's not business material, but it's gonna be fun, seeing what he does and what everyone else does, I guess. God, leadership is a weird thing. I feel really disconnected to my club, because I feel as though like, even though I guess just in group settings when there's like a strong voice and whatnot, strong leadership, like these are the things to do, I always feel as though like I have nothing really to give. It's like I always just slink off to the back, and I have ideas, and people say they're good, and like I have opinions on things on other people's ideas. Again, going back to like I may be a better critic than I am a writer, but I still have ideas, and people recognize them, but it's just I don't get along. It's just we have a group chat with like all the officers, just all of us, and they always like talk about it. And there's people like they're all like new. I'm the only like person who actually had officer experience. As another person who came in like later in the year, and I mean like very later in the year. So I'm the one with like actual experience in the club as an officer, and like it's just like so they're all like super eager and they have these ideas that like some of them are good, some of them are like wild and like really unobtainable, and like leadership people who are like really eager to do things that I don't agree with, but it's all this texting and stuff like that. I just feel like I'm screaming to a void. Like I don't work well when it's just like an anonymous thing. Like with this right now, I'm okay with, because it's just it's just me talking, and like I would do this to myself, and I think like this anyways. I think in like my own voice, which probably why my writing sounds a lot like. But I would do this anyways, and like not people are like seeing it, so I'm fine with it. Like I'm not confronting anyone. Okay, it's just me being me, and this is why I'm fine with showing it to strangers. Like if, a million people could watch this, and probably wouldn't feel a lot of stress because I got there because of me. Okay, I'm not pulling any tricks or anything to get popular. It's just me being me, and a part of that is God, what was I gonna say? So I'm fine with this basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm fine with this because not an interview. Like I'm not fine with it. I haven't shown my face, but I've shown my voice. I'll probably show my face at one point when I do a video and whatnot. When I actually create something visual. But that's just it. But I'm fine with this. It makes sense for me. It's not like I said like this so many bloody times. But with texting is like when it comes to like creating ideas and like bouncing off ideas or just ideas in general with me, it's like writing them down to other people is a terrible thing. Explaining them, I'm like somewhat better at. Like I mumble, I get it wrong the first time always. Like it never comes off clean the first time I try to do it. But I get to work with it. Like I can see people's faces, I can read their emotions, I can see if they're confused or not, and they can ask me back directly. And like there's no error, there's like a lot of errors in translation, but eventually we can get there. With text, I feel like though, because it's 11 it's like 7 people in the club on the opposite team, or like 11. It's a lot of people in the opposite club, so everything moves so fast, and they all have their own news and try to get their own voice in. So by the time I write something thoughtful and whatnot, like because I do a lot of talking. You know this by now. I'm talking for 45 minutes. I do a lot of talking, so I try to write things out a lot and a lot. It's a thing I don't. A lot of it is probably like unnecessary, but it's still there. And mixing it is the stuff that I need to get out. And by the time I feel like I think about something, I can't keep up. And like everything moves on. And like it's so wrong, which is weird because in real life I probably move too fast for people. In text I move too slow, but in real time, in person to person I talk too fast. People don't understand me. I'm going off from one thing to another. But with text, I feel like I need to focus on just one thing because it's writing, and like I'm good at texting other people. Like I can think myself out in like small things. It's like just probably when my best writing comes out is when I just text people, just things and details about just random stuff. That's probably when my best writing comes out. But but I can't do that when people are all trying to discuss actual ideas. And so I don't know. It's a weird thing. And it's something that I just gotta... I don't know what's happening in my life anymore. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen. None of us do, and that's perfectly fine. You just gotta accept it. Oh my god. You know what? I just need to read more. That's what I need to do. I need to I haven't way too much. Schoolwork is, I have 2 AP classes right now, and the work is already starting it feels like it's bulking up, so I just need to focus and do that. But also I need to read more, actual books. I need to go to the library and rent something out. Something about history. Or just a random, nothing about the Mafia, but I need to read an actual book. And I just get a point of reference. Just something to I don't know, hold me down to something. Something or something or something or something. Just something. Oh my god. My elbows hurt from rolling around. I move in and out a lot. And I push off my office chair arms. And it was bugging me because I have a bug bite on my elbow right above it. And so I'm just irritating that to hell. And it's not good. But yeah. That's what's happening. I need to just read more. I think everyone should just read more. We don't do enough reading at all. I guess, things, I'm not gonna say no one has attention span anymore. A lot of people don't, but it's just, I'm not gonna say that. But generalize, everyone is now stupid. They can't focus on anything. I think we just have so many, the well information has opened up so much. It's not an attention span anymore. It's we don't know what to focus on. It's not we don't want to focus, it's that we don't know what to focus on. it's just a pool of everything coming in at once, and we don't know what to do, or so we try to do everything because this is like choice overload. I'm pretty sure there's a name for that. When you have too many choices, you feel locked out. You feel like, what am I gonna do? I just don't want to make anything anymore. It's a psychological thing. Like if you're presented with too many choices, it's like how menus, like all categorized. Like, oh, I'm thinking of fish today. Oh, here's all the fish dishes. If they put like all the food items like without category and just listed them all in like one big thing, you wouldn't know what to pick. And I feel like that's the problem. And so I think with me as well, I just have that for myself. Like, it's not media consumption. It's just like me having ideas for like 7 other different things that I feel like I need to get out, but in reality I should just focus on one thing. I think that's the problem with me, and probably that can be like applied to other things for other people. And I think the best cure for that is reading. It's just like having this one thing. It's like just a focused thing about a subject that you have to patiently read out, and like you're forced to put your time into it. Okay, because you can't just like click on and off and like eat popcorn and like go do other things. Because somebody's gonna ruin it. It's a thing you have to focus on and just read. Just do it. You just gotta do it, and you have to understand it, or else you don't get it and you're gonna hate it. I think that's a really good thing, and I think that's why I want to make it a book. Because with the movie, I feel as though like that's every other day. It's like just it's just another thing in a wash that's going to get lost. Probably get picked up by Netflix of all people, and probably will get in the wash. And then just mess up other things that people want to put their hands in and whatnot. It's going to be another thing people can click off of. But with the book, people who are really interested, they're going to want to read it. And I think there's an appeal to that. With the cat, of course with the movie it's probably be more financially lucrative. But with the reader, I feel as though like if I create something and people like it, they really like it. Like I feel like I did something more with a book than I probably would a movie. Like a movie takes a lot more to do, physically, with the whole editing, choosing what lighting goes on, creating people, directing all these different things. A lot more going on with a lot of the people in a movie. There's so many things, there's so many balls in the air with that. But with a book, it's all on you. And so I feel as though like, because I try to put so much into my ideas, I have so much to say about these ideas that I don't want even a single person to touch it. I guess I don't know. I'm very defensive. That's why I see like most people who create content is that they're very defensive. Like they don't care what they themselves put in because I think they know what it is, and so they're willing to take a risk. But as soon as someone else from the outside try to change that, they get very, very defensive. And I feel like I'm on that. I'm but like turn up to 11. And so like I feel as though like with a book I just have a creative thing because I have such a vision for it. Like I can't think of any other way I want to do it besides a book. And I think that's why I want to do a book. That's why. We made it to 15 minutes, boys. I can practically end this now. But, should I end it now? I guess I should. I mean, like I said before, I'm not doing this organized. It's just me being me. I think that's a good place to end on. So, that has been the Dabble and Babble podcast, episode 5. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.